Hello everyone, we are Team Purple and we'll be focusing on the topic of inequality in pediatricians in Hong Kong.
There exists a notable gap in the quality and availability of medical expertise and resources between Hong Kong's private and public medical systems. While the public system is free and widely accessible to all citizens alike, it faces a severe shortage of doctors. The private medical system holds a relative abundance of medical expertise, but has high excludability due to expensive prices. In our group project, we will take a closer look at two aspects, that is, the availability and quality of pediatricians. Pediatricians are primary care doctors who are specifically trained to diagnose and treat childhood illnesses and diseases. Statistically speaking, of the 44 public hospitals in Hong Kong, only 16 have pediatricians. The private medical system has roughly 10% of the city's patients seeking for pediatric help, but has over 60% of Hong Kong's pediatricians available within, while public facilities that account for 90% of Hong Kong's medical care in pediatrics employ 40% of the total number of pediatricians. Pediatrician per capita ratio is approximately 0.25 for the public system and 3.32 for the private system. This marks an astonishing difference of 13 times in terms of the availability of pediatricians per person across the two systems. The huge discrepancy illustrates the inequality in availability of pediatric-related healthcare enjoyed between different income groups in society with a varying degree of financial abilities. Now, let's talk about quality. Another dimension of inequality pertains to the quality of pediatric healthcare that an average patient could receive in the two systems.
An average pediatrician meets with 25 patients per day in public hospital, while the average number is 8 patients for doctors employed in private sector. Taking the typical working hours of 8 hours, this translates to 19.2 minutes allocated to each patient in public health system and 60 minutes per patient using private healthcare.
A longer time could suggest a more comprehensive inspection onto the patient and hence a more sophisticated diagnosis and treatment advices.
The length and time will be especially prominent in mental health related problems that often involve timely examinations.
The length and time that is the most interested in such a reform is patients in public hospitals. They are currently struggling with the high fees charged at private hospitals and could only resort to public hospitals due to the financial burden.
Pediatricians at public hospitals are equally desiring a reform. They hope that patients could be more evenly distributed in two systems so that they could benefit from work-life balance.
A rarely associated area with pediatrics has its effects on future fertility rates. When people expect the children could receive effective treatments at a low cost, if health issues occur, they could be more incentivized to have children. A higher birth rate could be resulted, leading to more labours, more education spendings, and thus a higher GDP. There could be conflicts of interest who are unwilling to resolve the issues. A Nobel Prize-winning economic theory states that the measurable target is more favoured by a rational individual or group when it has a budget constraint, such as the GDP per capita. The government, in this case, would have fewer initiatives to fix the inequality issues within the medical system since the extent of such a modification is significantly less measurable. Furthermore, it may not be in the best favour of the private hospital patients if there are greater influxes of patients into the private system, as this would suggest that they have to share medical resources. On a similar note, pediatricians in private hospitals do not look forward to reform, as they could face a significantly heavier workload without the compensation of wage, and their work-life balance could be severely distorted. Hong Kong's private medical system has a prominent problem in its high pricing. We believe that when the public medical system improves, the private health system would adjust accordingly. The rationale is that both systems behave as close competitors. When the quality and availability of pediatricians is elevated in the public system, the private institutions would respond by adjusting their prices downwards to prevent losing out too many patients. To mitigate such a shortage, our team proposes two options on both supply side and demand side. First, we should increase the number of pediatricians in public hospitals. This could be achieved by government offering scholarship schemes to medical school students. For example, Hong Kong University is a trailblazer in terms of medical scholarship with more than 160 scholarships and prizes designated to Hong Kong University medical students, the greatest amount of any faculty. By creating such financial incentives, the number of pediatricians will increase significantly. Or, alternatively, we could achieve our target quickly by recruiting overseas professionals with ample experiences in foreign medical institutions. Wage incentives and non-wage incentives such as free flights, welfare benefits, and tax exemption schemes could be provided to professionals to encourage them to base their career at public hospitals in Hong Kong.
On the demand side, we could reduce the demand for pediatricians by increasing the general health status for kids. The most prominent way is to strengthen the supervision on food safety for kids, as food-related problems contribute to more than half of health problems in children under 10, such as obesity-related disorders. Another solution is to promote education for parents on basic knowledge on preventing, diagnosing, and treating common problems that frequently occur on children, which would result in less reliance on hospital authorities and reduce the patient volume they receive. Such education could be provided in the form of voluntary educational programs and compulsory schemes by the government institutions and schools. An inequality exists in the availability and quality of pediatricians in Hong Kong's private and public systems. There are numerous stakeholders that are interested in a change and many that are against. We could mitigate a shortage of pediatricians in public health system by applying both supply-side and demand-side policies. The universities and governments should work together to nurture medical professionals to influx into the public health system. The health bureaus, schools, and the governments should work in conjunction to promote food safety and education on parents to ease the reliance on pediatric interference.
So I'm Dr. Eric Chen. I started my training in obstetrics and gynecology, mainly the human medicine. And then I completed the training and become a specialist in this year. And now I work in Princess Margaret Hospital as associate consultant. Comes to the time equality, so there must be some like limitations or some as the USA, let's say, all the citizens need to have to buy the medical insurance in order to acquire any the hospital services. I think the different government has to implement their own system in order to have a sustainable medical service. Demand of the medical services is unlimited, but then the resources or the manpower are limited. Of course, this is of medical ethics, ethical issues. If we need to let those who really need to wait unnecessarily for too long. So I think this is a dilemma all countries, including Hong Kong, its districts, face about the medical services. One of the main points about distribution, the public and also private the sectors between more proportion of specialist doctor, they work in the private sector because maybe you think there are a lot of doctors in the public hospital, but then some of them are trainees, meaning they're not yet specialists, finished the training yet. And so, but then the patients, 90% of patients, they are only using the public hospital service, and the private doctor only serves the 10% of the remaining population. So this kind of the inequality of the distribution may cause the problem you mentioned.
Here are our references, and thank you for watching our video.